From a man who hasn't slept in 45 years to a real-life Mr. Fantastic, here are 10 people who gained superpowers. Number 10. Liew Thow, Magnetic Man. Being magnetic is certainly an ideal superpower. However, it would be better to control metal just like Magneto, rather than having metal stick to your flesh. That's what makes this first superpower on our list today kind of a dud. The Malaysian magnetic man Liew Thow is only able to stick metal objects to his skin, such as silverware, kitchen knives, and even hatchets. It's unclear when exactly he gained such a strange superpower, but according to a professor from the University Teknologi Malaysia, who did an in-depth medical study of the magnetic man, he actually just had really sticky skin. The professor claimed that Thow Lin's skin had a suction-like property to it that helped metal stick to him. Basically, his skin was like the sucker of an octopus tentacle. But the story doesn't end there. Lin's sons and 2 grandchildren also have the same ability with their skin. So while they can't technically attract metal, they do have really sticky skin that can come in handy. Well, maybe sometime in the future. It appears to be a genetic condition that's being passed along through his family. Perhaps in another 1,000 years, people will be able to climb up buildings with their sticky fingers just like Spiderman. Number 9. Daniel Browning Smith, the Rubberboy. How would you like to be able to contort your body into any position as if you were constructed of rubber? It doesn't seem that handy, but superhuman flexibility could get you out of some precarious situations if you ever found yourself in a James Bond type situation. For Daniel Smith, also known as the Rubberboy, being the world's most flexible person with exactly 7 Guinness World Records to date means a whole lot of attention. Smith allegedly became the most flexible person in human history because of a strange genetic condition known as hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. This means that he gained the power to bend himself into the shape of a pretzel because of a genetic condition that gifted him super mobile joints. Unfortunately, this is a two-sided sword. The Rubberboy can definitely do some cool things with his flexibility, but his skin is often easily bruised and his joints can be dislocated very easily as well. Most people with this syndrome experience pain in their muscles and bones. As for Daniel Smith, his supreme flexibility has landed him television roles and a few roles in films, including the 2008 Adam Sandler movie You Don't Mess with the Zohan. Number 8. Stephen Wiltshire, Super Memory. Stephen Wiltshire is the man with the super memory. He's also an architectural artist and autistic savant. His true ability is being able to draw any landscape from his memory. He only needs to see something once to be able to draw an exact copy of it. This is the same type of thing as being able to replicate music after hearing a song only one time. Stephen became a member of the Order of the British Empire in 2006 for his contribution to art, and he even opened a permanent gallery at the Royal Opera Arcade in London, England. Stephen's father came from Barbados and his mother came from Geneva, and he was born in England in 1974. It was at a young age that Stephen was diagnosed with autism. In the same year as his diagnosis, his father tragically perished in a motorbike accident. But it was his autism that turned him into a savant. His unique brain has so far produced some of the most stunning modern art in the United Kingdom. Number 7. Daniel Kish, Sonar Boy. Daniel Kish is the Sonar Boy. He's like a bat in that he can use echolocation to see his surroundings by clicking his tongue. He's even referred to himself as the real-life Batman, though Daredevil would actually be more accurate. Daniel Kish is completely blind, and yet he claims that by clicking his tongue, he can navigate the world just like any normal person. There's even a video of him showing off his talent, riding his bicycle and clicking his tongue while avoiding all cars on the road. It's a pretty amazing ability to be able to drive a bicycle completely blind. Just imagine putting on a blindfold and then driving into traffic. But there are still questions that science can't answer. Nobody's exactly sure how simple noises can reveal physical objects to people like Daniel. Nonetheless, science is hard at work trying to figure out what exactly is going on in this scenario. The hope is that human echolocators will be built in the future to give this ability to other blind people who haven't mastered it themselves. Number 6. Tyngoc, the Sleepless Man. Imagine how much work you could get done if you never needed to go to sleep. If you never got tired and your brain never needed to rest, you could theoretically work on your dreams 24 hours a day, perhaps just taking short breaks to collect your thoughts. In the 1980s, there was apparently a guy who had this exact power. You may have even seen stories of him online. Some news publications claim that Tyngoc didn't sleep for 45 years, and others claim he didn't sleep for 10 years. Apparently, this guy lived most of his life without ever needing to sleep throughout the night. But the story of Tyngoc is a weird and complicated one. It all started after a road accident. Tyngoc collected a settlement after much litigation, and then between 1970 and 1980 began to complain about serious insomnia, saying that he hadn't slept in at least 10 years. All tests came back saying that he was normal, and so finally in 1981, the man and his wife arrived in Scotland to the sleep laboratory at the Royal Edinburgh Hospital. But this is where everything unraveled. According to the 1981 report from the New York Times, the guy was just a great big phony. He tried to stay up for 4 nights straight while the doctors watched him, but he just couldn't do it. He ended up falling asleep and then storming out of the sleep center, saying that he had magically been cured. It turns out that nobody on Earth actually has this superpower, no matter how hard they got bumped in the head. Number 5. Kevin Richardson, real-life Dr. Dolittle. Anyone who watched the Dr. Dolittle movies has probably dreamed of being able to talk to animals. It'd certainly be a great way to spend time with your dog. And for that matter, you'd probably never leave your local zoo. But there's one guy on Earth who's about as close as it gets to being Dr. Dolittle. His name is Kevin Richardson, and he is known as the Lion Whisperer. You've undoubtedly seen this guy in YouTube videos. He's often seen in dramatic pictures hugging lions, playing with giant cats, and generally just being one of the pride. How did he gain this amazing power to walk freely amongst lions and other ferocious beasts? The truth is that nobody knows how he does it. It's obvious that the lions have no interest in eating Kevin, and it almost seems like he's communicating with them through some kind of telepathy. It could very well be that he has a secret ability he's not telling anyone, or perhaps he was a lion in his past life. Then again, others are claiming that it's just a total fluke, and one day he'll be eaten. What do you think? Is Kevin Richardson Dr. Dolittle in disguise? Or does he simply have an almost otherworldly relationship with big African cats? Number 4. Dean Karnazes, the fittest man on Earth. Believe it or not, there's a real-life $6 million man, but he doesn't have any bionics in him. Meet Dean Karnazes, who has sometimes been referred to as the living incarnation of the Flash from the DC Comics. He once ran 350 miles consecutively over 3 days, and he did it without stopping, sleeping, and probably without blinking. He also claims that he's nothing special, and in a way, he's right. Dean wasn't born with the ability to run for 3 days straight, but he did gain it through rigorous work and boundless determination. Dean has even been voted one of the 100 most influential people on the planet by Time magazine. This guy is a lunatic when it comes to running. He could probably run with his eyes closed, fully asleep for a full 8 hours. But what's truly impressive is that Dean didn't discover running in his adult life until he was 30, and apparently he hasn't stopped running since. This just goes to show that anyone can become unstoppable. Number 3. Alain Robert, French Spiderman. It turns out that in real life, Spiderman is actually French. His name is also Alain Robert. This is the story of a man who gained an international reputation for climbing the highest building in the world without harnesses, without safety nets, and often without permission. Most recently, in September of 2019, the French Spiderman was caught climbing the skyscraper building in Frankfurt, Germany. He scaled the side of it using nothing but his fingers and his willpower, and then he climbed back down and was detained by police. But this was hardly the French Spiderman's first amazing climb. He did the same thing at the GT International Tower in Manila in 2019, and he climbed the Heron Tower in London back in 2018. His list of amazing climbs goes on and on since at least Australia in 1997. There doesn't appear to be anything overtly special about Alain Robert, other than that he's a relatively lightweight guy and apparently has some pretty strong fingers. But who knows? Maybe somewhere in his childhood he was bitten by a radioactive spider. Number 2. Liliang, the Water Runner. If there's any group of people on the planet who have gained superhuman abilities through training and perseverance, it's definitely the Shaolin monks. And there's no better example of the superpowers of the Shaolin monks than Liliang, who managed to run across water for 410 feet. The monk hails from a Shaolin temple in the east of China, and he used 200 floating plywood planks to help with his feet and his feet. Obviously, it's physically impossible to run across water as you would just fall in, but by using the planks, the Shaolin monk managed to scan the surface of the waters across a wide river from one side to the other. This might not seem that impressive, but I'd like to see any normal person make it even 5 feet without sinking. According to the Daily Mail, the monk was from the southern Shaolin monastery where Kung Fu was originally born in the Middle Ages. Through repetitive training and non-stop physical challenges, the monk told reporters that there's no limit to human strength. Number 1. Venlukrishnan, King Tooth. The final guy on our list today who gained superpowers is known as King Tooth, which is almost a pretty cool superhero name. The Malaysian man in 2007 broke a world record when he pulled a 7-coach train using his teeth. It was the heaviest weight ever pulled by human teeth. The train weighed approximately 327 tons, and he managed to drag it for over 9 feet. And yes, it has officially been recognized by Guinness World Records. It's unclear how King Tooth gained his superhuman abilities. Maybe he used the world's best toothpaste, or maybe he was born with exceptionally strong jaws. According to the report from the Daily Mail, King Tooth is a strict vegetarian and attributes his inhuman strength to a form of meditation. That means that maybe if you meditate hard enough, you can gain a superhuman ability too. In fact, maybe you should try it right after this video, though nobody suggests going out and trying to pull a train by your teeth. I of course mean the meditating. Which of these amazing superhuman abilities would you love to have? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way out.